I want to talk about the role of infrastructure as a constraint on performance, ease of use, and price. So that's going to be the focus of the next 3 sessions, something we really haven't emphasized before. Let's take a solar converter. You put the solar panel on the top of your house, and you want to take the power off. Now the solar cell is producing direct current. We have a problem. Our house works on alternating current. Everything we're plugging into the sockets in the wall, presume there's alternating, not direct current. That means that the performance of that solar cell doesn't really matter unless we can get it to alternating current. So we have to put an inverter on it or figure out an innovation that allows us to create an alternating current solar cell. What does this tell us about performance? It tells us that performance itself is capped by the infrastructure that allows you to use the technology. Let me give you another example. A while back for Westinghouse Savannah River Corporation, this is a company that was running the Savannah River Laboratory of the Department of Energy. They had a problem. They had leaking drums, and they didn't know what was in the drums. They were certainly toxic waste. And they wanted to try and figure it out, and they thought, well, maybe if we can x-ray the drums, that'll help. So they invented a 3-dimensional x-ray machine. Basically, it's a little box that you can put around the drum, and it shoots it from all angles to try and identify what's in there. Then the question was, what else can we do with this 3-dimensional x-ray? Where else can we use it? And they thought, well, great, we'll use it in sports. It's great, somebody's out on the football field, they get creamed, wham, they're down, and they'll run out with a little x-ray machine, and they'll take an x-ray of them and determine whether they're okay. They forgot about infrastructural problems. What's the infrastructural problem with coming out and doing the x-ray on the football field? Well, the problem is this. Football today is a sport that is a commercial activity. Even college ball is televised. Certainly pro ball is televised. So the amount of time you have for an injury is basically limited by an ad. So you need to go out, make a determination if somebody's okay or not, and get them off the field in the time of one ad. That's not enough time for a trained professional to come out, take an x-ray, clear everybody out so you don't have to worry about the radiation, take the x-ray, examine it digitally, look at it, make sure they're okay, make a call. Better to just get them off the field. So the performance that was important was not simply the ability to distinguish the fracture or the resolution of the x-ray, it's also the speed that you use it and the training of the people, all these, the radiation dispersion, all these other factors. If you're going to look at performance, the lesson is this. You have to think about performance in the actual context of the practice that is going on. If you don't do that, you may miss really key aspects of the performance. What does this tell us? The performance that we identified earlier when we were talking about the technology was based upon the secret sauce. What's really interesting about that technology. As we begin to come into the applications, even though that's still important, it may not be the only important things. And when we listen to the voice of the customer, we discovered that there are other things that are as or more important, and now we have to take these into account and look at how our technology performs vis-a-vis these other requirements that the end users have. And these requirements may have nothing to do with the actual practice that's going on, or, well, let me rephrase this, with the goal-driven aspect of that practice. In other words, I'm playing football, somebody gets injured, I want to make sure they're okay so they can play football again. That's the goal-driven aspect of the practice. But they may have to do with the context and the infrastructure around it, which is in order for me to maintain the field, I have to generate revenue, and the way I'm generating it is I'm televising the sport, and there are ads being sold and all of this, and that whole infrastructure needs to be taken into account as well. So never forget that the performance that you think is important may not be important to the end user. One way to get a handle on other things that are important to the end user is to look at the context and the infrastructure that's in place in that practice. We'll come back and talk about ease of use.